Chapter 17. The Wrath of General Thrakar. The long and complex relationship between the Drixarians and Nexusar spanned hundreds of thousands of years, shaped by the vast difference in technological advancement between the two alien species. In the distant past, the Nexusar held a considerable technological advantage over the Drixarians, which initially led to the formation of this alliance. Drixarians, while formidable warriors, lacked the technological prowess of the Nexusar. It was this technological disparity that forced the Drixarians to seek cooperation rather than confrontation. The Nexusar possessed advanced technology and knowledge that the Drixarians desired. The alliance between them allowed the Drixarians access to advanced weaponry, interstellar travel capabilities, and other technological marvels they would otherwise have struggled to acquire. Over countless generations, the relationship evolved, with the Drixarians becoming increasingly dependent on the Nexusar for their advanced technology. The Drixarians, in turn, relied on the Nexusar to provide them with a steady supply of human conscripts for various purposes, including labor, combat, and other sinister needs. General Thrakar, however, began to question the status quo. As he looked around at the seemingly defenseless Nexusar on the moon, he couldn't help but wonder if they had become complacent in their tranquil existence, relying solely on the Drixarians for sustenance. Thrakar pondered the possibility of the Drixarians seizing control of Earth themselves, freeing themselves from the regulation imposed by the Nexusar. It was a radical idea that challenged the centuries-old power dynamics, and it sparked a glimmer of hope for independence among the Drixarians. The notion of breaking free from their dependence on the Nexusar and taking control of Earth was tantalizing, but it also carried immense risks and uncertainties. Thrakar knew that challenging the Nexusar directly would not be an easy task. It would require careful planning, a united Drixarian front, and the ability to outwit the technologically superior Nexusar. The general's contemplation marked the beginning of a potential shift in the balance of power that had endured for countless generations, and the consequences of such a shift remained uncertain. Now, in the vast ethereal halls of the moon station, a place of quietude and contemplation for the Nexusar, a sudden disruption shattered the serenity. General Thrakar, a towering figure of the Drixarian military, stormed into their chamber, his presence a whirlwind of fury and discontent. The Nexusar, usually unflappable in their demeanor, paused in their indulgence of Pterodal, a narcotic harvested from human conscripts, as they sensed the severity of Thrakar's anger. "Return the Pterodal!" Thrakar bellowed, his voice echoing off the walls. "Explain this catastrophe with the latest batch of conscripts!" His eyes blazed with a fury rarely seen by the Nexusar, who feed off the negative emotions of humans, simply found the taste of Drixarian emotions bitter and unpalatable, were accustomed to a more subdued and strategic approach in their dealings. The Nexusar Council, led by Zalarion, looked on with a calm that contrasted starkly with Thrakar's rage. Zalarion, his voice a harmonious echo, responded, "General Thrakar, please elaborate on the nature of this misfortune." Thrakar, struggling to contain his anger, detailed the recent debacle. "The new conscripts, many of them willing to commit suicide, be killed by me, their commander, or turn on each other, resulted in the loss of half of the 20,000 new recruits." His frustration was great. "They even tasted like spoiled meat and chemicals," he spat out, disgusted by the degradation of their prized meal. Zalarion, unmoved by the emotional display, explained calmly, "The batch you refer to was harvested using a new method devised by human leaders. It's called voluntary departure." Perplexed and infuriated, General Thrakar demanded more information. Zalarion elaborated. "Voluntary departure is a program where humans willingly accept their fate, believing they will be assisted in suicide. It's designed to maximize the yield of troops for your armies, without raising suspicion of the population." Thrakar's anger reached a boiling point. "These humans were pumped up on their drugs. Their implants only magnify mental defects in the mind. You've contaminated the batch with their desperation and madness." The Nexusar Council exchanged uneasy glances, realizing the gravity of the situation. The equilibrium they had so carefully maintained was now at risk due to this unforeseen complication. With a sense of urgency and command, General Thrakar issued a dire request. We need millions more humans. There is a new alien threat attacking us across multiple galaxies. We must bolster our ranks to face this challenge. His demand was not just a request, but a necessity to sustain their empire in the face of this new and unknown adversary. Zalarian, understanding the critical nature of Thrakar's demand, nodded and informed Thrakar that many humans could not be removed without a great number of preparations. Though Thrakar was welcome to those remaining humans from the voluntary departure program at half price, to hold the Drixarians over till preparations could be made. General Thrakar's anger surged as he charged at Zalarian, his fingers closing around one of the Nexusar's translucent tentacles that dangled from the base of his skull. With a force that brought them mere inches apart, Thrakar's eyes bore into Zalarian's, and he spoke with a commanding intensity. We will pay 1/3 the price, nothing more, and you will have the next million in a week. Yes? Zalarian, his alien features unmoved by the sudden aggression, replied in his calm, resonant voice. Yes, we shall commence preparations. Earth will provide the necessary conscripts for your campaign. The tension in the chamber was thick as the two powerful beings reached an agreement that could potentially alter the course of history. Thrakar's grip remained firm, a silent testament to his determination. Satisfied with Zalarian's response, the Drixarian general released his hold and turned to leave the chamber, his steps heavy with the weight of impending conflict. Walking away, Thrakar couldn't help but wonder about the nature of the impending conflict. His daring test against Zalarian, which had met no resistance, left him questioning whether their struggle would be against the mysterious new threat they had encountered, or whether it involved eliminating an old alliance that had bound them for centuries. The uncertainty hung in his mind like a storm on the horizon, and Thrakar knew that the future held challenges unlike any they had faced before.